Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. First of all, I want to apologize if you do hear some weird noise. I'm in a room that is not closed for the cats, so they might come in and, well, I might not be able to edit out all of them, so sorry about that. Today I'm going to talk about our trip to Amsterdam. I first intended it as a blog post, and then I thought why not put it here. So I did not vlog that much, I did took a lot of picture, so I'm just gonna voice over most of it and then put picture here and then. We went there because our friend Adrien, whom you might recognize from the Vlogmax series a couple years ago, in the video where we went to see Star Wars together. He was working there and we decided since he's usually working in Canada, why not, do a couple hours drive, well, 6 hours. And since we were going there by car, we decided why not take the bike with us. So off we went for 3 days. We booked an hotel along the canal so we could see the canal from our hotel room, which was very nice and romantic. Since there were free parking on the street, we decided to spend the night here and then park on a park and ride parking thing. When you take the tramway, you get limited fees. So the first morning we woke up, started to get ready for the day, and we realized that Nicolas' bike got stolen during the night, which meant that my bike spent the night unlocked. So the first stop into visiting Amsterdam was the police station. So we could fill a report and then send it to the insurance. And then Nicolas rented a bag for the day and off we went. We first aimed for the Anne Frank Museum because that's the place we knew we could walk along the canals there. Both of us went to Amsterdam once as a kid, like a school trip. I did not remember all of it, so we decided to go with a fresh start and just walk there. Since it was around noon, we decided to have a lunch. I cannot have dairy, so the easiest thing for me to eat is either Japanese, sushi, stuff like that, and vegan food. Amsterdam is quite known for the vegan stuff around it. I mean, in France it is. So we started going for a vegan cafe, but it was more like a cafe. So it was carrot cakes and stuff like that. So not really the typical meal. We did both their strootwafel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Cookie cats and other vegan stuff that I could eat. And then we started walking in the old Amsterdam and found a taco shop that had a all vegetable thing. So I did have that. And Nicolas had like cheesy thing. I can't remember what. One thing that I really liked about like the beginning of our trip is that every place we went, they offered us to fill up our water bottles, which was very good because we were going through a heat wave. In Europe, it was very hot in France, like 40 degrees, and in Paris, and in Amsterdam it was 26. But with a massive sun that kinda did sunburn me at some point. So filling water bottles was very appreciated. After that we went and walked a bit around the neighborhood. Hello. And then decided to go back on the bikes and then do cycle around Amsterdam to discover a bit more. We did stop in a park near a mill where we just napped there and watched the birds. And then it was time to come back to our hotel. One thing that I did notice is that nobody was wearing a helmet. I found myself a bit stupid wearing it. I did have a helmet and gloves. apparently only tourists have a helmet in Amsterdam. So from there we decided to rest ourselves in a spa area of the hotel room. The spa was super duper hot, but we did have the view over the canal, so it was very nice. And then Nicholas had booked a table on a Australian restaurant, which was like 15 minutes away from the hotel room. We ate at around 8 p.m., which was not the usual time for people in Netherlands apparently, because when we finished eating, the people were just starting ordering. They were just having a beer or something like that from the beginning. I had a vegan burger and Niklas had some Australian typical meat. I can't remember if it was kangaroo or crocodile. And then for dessert, I had a vegan carrot cake, which was delicious. And Nicholas had some kind of rock with marshmallows and chocolate, which apparently is an Australian specialty. And we decided that for the next day, we wanted to visit the canals by boat. It was not that expensive. We had two options. One, which was a traditional boat with a lot of people in it and going through, or paying a little bit more money and go onto a private cruise. And we decided to do that at Flagship Amsterdam. This is not sponsored. We did pay the entire price of it. But we were like 5 or 6 on the boat. We had 2 guides that were really talkative. We could ask questions. They told us funny things about their view of Amsterdam, which was very good.
So, if you take a look at the map of Amsterdam, they're a little bit like a circle surrounding it, and all these roads.
The trip started at the Anne Frank Museum, so we did took a tramway, because remember, we did want to park on a PNR parking. So we took the tramway all the way to the central station, which was in construction. Unfortunately, I heard that this is a very, very nice train station, but we could not see anything of it. They took us along the canals. I took loads and loads of photos there. We learned a lot of things, such as the taxes of the people were calculated on the amount and the size of windows they had. So poor people had like small windows only for opening and a bit of lighting, and rich people had like massive windows. On the top of Amsterdam houses, you can see sometimes there is a play, and that the house is slightly a little bit inclined. And that's because the police are there to help move things such as a piano or boxes during moving. And that's still in use as of today because the houses are very narrow. They cannot put furniture through the staircases, so they use the pulley, which is very, very smart. On the houses, if you look closely, you can also see that sometimes there is sculpture. Most of them represent the job of the people living here. For example, you can have compass for architects, and you can have birds for nurses, for example. We did so and kiss under the Love Bridge in Amsterdam, so apparently all love will last forever. And we saw the Fault in Our Stars bench, which apparently has gone stolen already 2 times since the movie came out. We did came back later this day to see the bench, but there were so many people sitting there that we couldn't, take a private picture or anything. But for the dorkiness in me, I wanted to see it. So after the cruise, we went to eat a poke bowl because, as I said, sushi is a very good thing for me. And we walked all the way across Amsterdam to go to the Heineken Museum, where our friend Adrian met us here. I don't know, I was a bit disappointed by that museum. As you might know, we did some beer in this channel a while back. so we do know how the beer is made. The museum was more of a kind of propaganda, and there were more stories behind the horses living in the factory than the actual beer itself. So yeah, a bit of a bust. And then at the end, you do have like 2 glasses of beer, and you're sitting in a dark room with a lot of noises, and you have games you can play. I mean, that's the majority of the museum. I was not a fan of it. If you did like it, great, good for you. But I would personally not recommend it to do. So during the cruise, we asked what was the typical food of Amsterdam, because if you listen closely, we ate Japanese, we ate taco with this American, like one of the country in the American continent, and Australian. So we did not have a typical food here, and it turns out that the only thing they truly have is stroopwafel, some kind of cabbage and potato soup, which you cannot find in Amsterdam, like in restaurants. And you do have Indonesian food that is consumed a lot by people from Amsterdam. So we went to do that kind of restaurant. I'm not a massive fan of spicy food, so my choices were quite limited. The starter were a bit too spicy for me, and I had the mildest one. My friend Adrian was kind of tired and did not understand when I said this one is the strongest one and this one is the mildest one. He got that backward, so he started with the strongest one and did not have any taste for the rest of the meal, which was quite a shame, because he shared something with Nicholas that apparently was pretty good. I did have a soup ramen thing with tofu in it, and they got some grilled meat with noodles. So that was apparently traditional, or most common food you can find in Amsterdam. And that was the end of the day. It was also our last day in Amsterdam. We went back to the hotel, packed everything, and then drove back to France with only one bite left. But we had a great time in Amsterdam. It was really nice to go and do a getaway weekend. We did learn a lot of things about Amsterdam and the Netherlands. And I think I would like to come back again one day. Maybe not by car, but we'll see. If you do have any question about Amsterdam, our trip where we stayed, you can go see our blog or leave us a question in the comments. I do reply to most of the comments. You can always find us in our social media. Actually, this is the best way to know what we're up to and what travel we're in. Feel free to share this video with someone who wants to visit Amsterdam. And if you're wondering, no, we did not bought any illegal, in France, plants. We did both tulips for Nicolas' mom, and that's it. I hope you've liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.